All right, I am now recording and we're going to get ready to start. And I appreciate everybody for logging in on this Sunday evening. We're doing our second week of Ask the Experts. Last week we had some technical difficulties and we're getting everything lined up. And I think from the last meeting that we had and just the conversations that I seem to be having with people, I don't mean to monopolize the Ask the Experts, but it seems like there's a lot of confusion and questions in regards to down payment assistance and grants, and what is a soft second, and what does it mean, what's forgivable mean? And, there's a couple different questions. So I thought, well, why not do this, record it, we can give it to people later. And I'm super excited that we have a bunch of realtors on our panel today. We have a woman from South Carolina. I'm going to actually meet everybody. We have Lynn Padilla from Tampa, and we have Karen Betts, Orlando. And I appreciate you, amazing woman. I'm actually going to I'm sure you guys will have questions at the end as well, and maybe we can ask you some questions. Along, and I appreciate you guys being here today. Every week we're going to try and add something different to this Ask the Expert. I believe that we said the last week of the month we were going to do a realtor panel, and so that people can ask realtor questions and just kind of the buying side of the realtor standpoint, and maybe down the road kind of go over some contracts so people know what to look for and that kind of thing. But right now, I'm finding, especially because I'm making the shift back into lending, that there are a lot of things that people don't understand, and I really, really believe that knowledge is power. The more knowledge that the clients have, the more comfortable they feel about what they're getting ready to do. And that's a one-way for everybody. So tonight, Ask the Experts. It's weird because I've got to look over here instead of my monitor. So tonight's Ask the Experts is on the bonds, grants, and first-time buyer. And what is the difference? So let's start with the loan types. We went over this briefly last time. I just kind of want to review that. So that way, if you were not on the last call, you kind of have an understanding. There's conventional financing, FHA financing, VA financing, and USDA. Those are the typical conforming loan types. Now they're getting back to bank statement loans and some other things, but these are your typical financing options that you're going to find. We talked about this last time, some of the changes that are going on for 2020. The limits have gone up, which is, awesome. May affect you guys, may not. I wanted to just go over really quick again a conventional mortgage. That was your old typical 20% down type of mortgage. Now, normally it's a 5% down mortgage now, but they do have what they call home ready. I'm actually really starting to like home ready. It's a 3% down. Because if this is somebody that's wanting to move into a home for a long period of time, I think it's a great option. They will, though, only allow 3% in seller concessions. So remember that when we start talking about down payments. Okay, just keep that somewhere along in the back of the brain. That conventional usually only allows 3% of seller concessions. What does that mean? When you go to make an offer and you need help with your closing costs, you have cost of buying a home on top of what you have to put down on the home, right? So that would be your closing cost. Typically, 3 to 4.5% is your closing cost, depending on if you have like a upfront mortgage insurance and like that. So what they're saying is, let's say your closing costs are 4%, and you can only get 3% in seller concessions. Or some of these that we're going to find out when you get to Some of these require like a origination cost. That cannot be rolled as well. So that would make your upfront cost more. So instead of being 3, it could be 4, maybe 4.5. It will only allow you to do 3, so just kind of keep that in mind. FHA, we love FHA. It was funny. I don't know why when I first got into business. This business a long time ago. I didn't do a lot of FHA. For sure why, but I do them all the time now. I do them a lot. So FHA, I like it. You can get 6% seller concessions, which is really cool. If you need 6% in seller concessions, you got to talk to you about your lender financing. But they allow 6% in seller concessions. They allow 3.5%. They allow a lower credit score. So that would be FHA. VA is your military funding, and that is 100%. I don't see a lot of people needing down payment assistance with VA because 100%. So I just wanted to let you kind of go through. USDA VA is kind of based on that. So the first program, because this is what we're here for, right? We want to talk about, people want to know what are these loan programs. And I apologize. We have some people on here that are actually in Orlando, so they're thinking, I'm just giving you, this is an overview. This is not a city by city, program by program. Okay, really. Every county is usually the Florida one. And cities have different, a lot of them have different things, but they all pretty much. If you have this is what we call is our Dare to Dream, right? And it's a silent second. What is a silent second? Is it in silent when you sell the house, right? A silent second means that you have your first mortgage with your first mortgage lender. You owe $5,000, $7,000, $10,000. Sorry. You have that, a second mortgage that could go towards part of your closing cost, part of your down payment, right? That you do not owe until you sell that home or you right? It's 0% interest on until you sell or you refi. Pay it off, then it becomes, you gotta start making it. On this City of Tampa one, it's a $30,000 award, but I mean, the truth is, to get $30,000, you basically hardly anything, and then it's kind of an oxymoron. It's kind of like, I don't see a lot of people. A lot of people really might fall into that 15,000. It's due and payable when the first mortgage is satisfied or the property is sold. Income calculated based on household income, right? Not just the loan applicant. So it's not like, say the wife doesn't make as much, or the husband doesn't make as much and the wife makes a lot more, and it's going to kick them out. You can't just apply with the wife to get this money because they're going to look at the household. You cannot have owned a home. You have to be a first-time buyer. So that means they're going to want to pull, right, your last 3-year tax returns to know that we're not a homeowner the past 3 years. Household income must be at or below the 140% earning. Show you guys actually how to find that. Debt ratio. Okay, so debt ratio means, when I talk about a debt ratio, it's your income, your gross income with your debt. The 33% that it's talking about is your front end debt to income, meaning your mortgage payment. Your mortgage payment cannot be more than 33% of your total gross monthly income. Right? the debt ratio, your total debt needs to be at 40, under 41. So the problem that I'm finding with a lot of these are people with student loans. Okay, because let's it's like we jump over, we get to the credit issue, and then we hit this issue. So it's always really important for everybody to know before going in, okay, you can look and see what your gross paycheck is, divide that gross monthly income by, do I have credit cards, do I have, what's on my credit report? So you can pull your credit report and find what's on your credit report. So that, you can go to my FICO, what have you, but it should be at under 41%. I like this one because your mid score can be 600. 600, how cool is that? That is one thing I do like about the Dare to Dream. Again, if you are in another city, you want to filter with me, we can get all these things. I'm just kind of giving you hypotheticals. This is in general kind of what some of these do, some of the grants that some of the cities have. Maximum purchase is 240. That's where sometimes that can be a problem. You have to put in $2,000 from you, and $1,000 of it has to be your own verifiable funds. The other, they pay for like your appraisals and your inspections. Loan types are flexible, but it's fully underwrites FHA, VA, and convention. Like I said, I don't see a lot of it. Like, it would make no sense to me to do this loan. One of the things is you do have to get an independent inspection. And it has to pass, and you cannot get a contract with these things until you check all of their hoops. When I say all of their hoops, let's just talk about these hoops for a second. The problem that we are finding with these are that interest rate's 5.5. That in itself is a problem. But it takes forever. You have to call these down payment assistance groups, and I can give you the 4 days. Let me just start with this. I'm sorry, I should have said this when I started this whole conversation. I moved companies so that I can do all these programs. So I am not that person that is trying to talk you out of a program because I can't, right? The company I work for is approved for all of these programs. I just want people to know the truth and the kind of like, Wizard of Oz. Yeah, the wizard. Just kind of want you to look behind the screen a little bit. I get paid the same at all of them. I don't care which one anyone does. But I don't, what bothers me is when, I guess what bothers, let me just be real. What bothers me is I used to work for a company, I guess I can't say that I did. I did work for a HUD housing years ago. The young thing there. I worked for one of these companies right when the housing crisis hit. So I know, and I went and did a lot of training with NeighborWorks America, and I know the game. The game is this. Every time they can get these housing places, every time it's called data is gold, right? And you get, the housing companies get paid a certain amount of money just to have people show up. You pay like, I forget what it was. It was like $50 a person that came to these first-time homebuyer classes, right? Then you fill out a loan application. You actually go through and do a loan application with them. You get $50. Seriously? It's kind of like a structured thing. So they get paid. They get paid just to do that. They don't get paid for your clothes. Okay? So, and it's just when I went with a client a couple weeks ago, and I just started having like flashbacks of this place that I worked for that I shall not name, that all they cared about was having these live open meetings for people to come to. taking people in every single day to collect their names and get their information, because that's how the company made money. They were not actually saving money. Those very same companies are the very ones that are doing this. And I don't mean to disrespect, but that's the truth. So, can you get 15,000? Yes. We are going to walk through at the end of this exactly how much that 15,000 is going to cost you. I didn't mean to go on a rampage or anything like that, but I think that it's really, really important. The one saving grace about this, because I think all of these programs serves their own purpose. There's a time and a place for all of these, and this one would serve the purpose that on our best day we can get you to 600, right? They would serve a purpose for, yeah, that's it in my world. If you needed 15,000, I guess that would serve that purpose as well. Because really with this one, all you need 1,000. But the truth is, I would almost rather you go get the seller to do concessions and go with one of these other ones than to do all this business. Because this one, when I walked in, just made me nauseous when I realized the cattle call that was going on. Matters. This is another one that we have here in Hillsborough County, and I believe most counties have this one. Okay, and you have to be first-time home buyers, which reside in the U.S. They have to look at everybody no matter what. They have to occupy the purchased property within 60 days of closing. It's a very strange rule. How about just say it's primary residence? How about the next one? You must live on the property as a principal residence, and the property may never be rented. That one totally makes sense. It's a 30-year deferred 0% second mortgage to $10,000. Must be used for down payment and closing costs. The second mortgage is never forgiven and must be repaid when the first mortgage is refinanced, short sale, foreclosed, or the borrower ceases to live in the property. Income limit, household income is considered for all spouses. I like this one. This one isn't so, you don't have to go through all those meetings and sit there. The other one, you got a good, I went to this client, we sat to this first meeting, and I like to hear himself talk, and then we went, and then he had to come back with his stuff, and they had to sit down, and then once they approved him and that stuff, ching, right? Then they would send it to the city would approve it, and then go to our house. This is a lot less restrictive. Not 15,000, mind you. 10,000. Interest rate's still about the same. So we're going to look at that, but so this one gives you a little bit less money, but it's a lot less restrictive, right? 1 to 2 people in the household, it's 61,000, and 3 or more, it's 70,000. It's continuously funded. For some reason, these people don't get along very well, and about the other group. And I had always heard. Now I realize I always heard this because I wanted to do this program, because they'd always say they run out of money. In fact, I sat in the city meeting and said that the county runs out of money. The county says we never run out of money. Now, what they run out of is the 15,000 and then 10,000, and then it goes down to 7,500. They'll always do the 7,500, right? Their purchase price is higher. You see that it's $283. They do have one, but you can just do it online. Home buyer education is way easier. The eligible property is way easier. They don't make you go through the whole bells and whistles, getting their inspector, making sure everything's done. It's not like that. But credit score is, that is the downside, right? And one of these is kind of different. I call this the my people loan. It's not playing. There we go. Okay, so I know why I thought my one. It's because they originally were backed by an Indian reservation, and I'm part of it. Loan partner, you know, the My People ones, I couldn't remember the name of it now forever. But we came across this, one of our realtors that I work with, one of her, a realtor, they had another lender that found this, and so then I went to my boss. He goes, "Oh yeah, no, we have that." This one I really do like, actually. I'm going to be interested to see how it pans out. They do conventional, they do FHA, right? But they're interesting because they have a silent second feature and a pay one that you pay back, right? Theirs, I believe, let's get to it. There we go. The soft second. With this program, you receive a 30-year term, zero interest, no monthly payment, second mortgage. You'll need to meet the minimum of 620. So the 620 credit score and have a qualifying income of less than 150. This is it. The loan is forgiven when you make 36 consecutive payments on time. How cool is that? You make 3 years of payment on time, and that second's forgiven. I love it. They have another one that is a repayable second. That way your income again is 115%. There are 2 options for the repayable one. You can choose a 10-year repayable second at 0 interest rate. So that means you just pay it back over 10 years at 0 interest. Or you have a 30-year repayable, 30-year repayable at 5% interest rate. So that's kind of cool. The Advantage program is you lock your first mortgage at the market comparable rate. You need to meet the minimum of 640 and have a debt to income of 50 or less and a qualified household income in which you live. So I'm pretty sure how that one is different. But anyway, I like this because my favorite would be the one that's, see, this is the way my brain works. The 3 years consecutive, except when I go start looking at the interest rates. Interest rates are higher. We're going to look at them. I mean, we're really going to go, okay, is it worth doing all this stuff? Let's just go with a 3% down and figure out what it is. I'm going to be honest. Well, that's another conversation we do go. But sometimes I find that it might be better just to try to get your score to the conventional level, 620, 640, not pay off some of these debts, because the debts are so much more, like FHA makes you pay off collections, where this one doesn't. So I kind of like that. Okay, so this just kind of goes through and talks about the Chinook conventional. So they have the option of doing a conventional or FHA, right? You can do the Home Ready program with this. So I like the fact that you have choices. You can pay it back over 10 years. You can pay it back over 5 years, or you can just not pay it back. The difference obviously is going to be what your first mortgage is. And there's a catch to it. So depending on which one you want to do, 4.375 is probably the one that you pay back quicker. 5.5 is the one that is forgivable. So we're going to look at that. Don't you worry, but here, would you manufactured homes? They do condos. I can't find another down payment assistance program that will do either one of those. So that's something that's kind of exciting about that I like. I like two really good features on that. Condos, manufactured homes, and the second is then you get the bond programs in-house that we offer USAA. It's like the easiest one because you don't have to do any classes except for a little one online. The rates, I like the rates better, a lot better actually. It is a silent second though, you do have to pay it back. There isn't an upfront. See, with a lot of these other ones, you're going to find a point up front, half up front, meaning 1% of the loan amount. Okay, think about that for a second. When you think about someone buying a $250,000 house, and they had to pay, it's going to cost of the $15,000 they get, it costs them a point and a half. What would that be? 25, like 30. Almost $4,000. So yeah, we're going to give you 15, but we're going to charge you 4 to get it. Like that makes 0 sense to me. And by the way, we're going to charge you 5.5% interest rate too while we're at it. We can get you one, we're going to get you another one. So it serves its purpose if you need $15,000 down. If you are in a situation, although you wouldn't know this until you went down to negotiating, and you've had to jump through 90 days worth of hoops program, but we're in a situation that you didn't want to ask the seller for concessions, that $15,000. So anyway, this is your 3.5%. So what I did here is I just broke it down for you. So we have the city and state grants, which would be like the Hillsborough County and Dream. Their rate. We have the Chinook rate. So look at that. I mean, I really don't mean to be really it's in black and white. See this? You see this? So Chinook's rates on its worst day, the forgivable loan, better than this, right? The bond, the rate. This is a FHA. I just pulled it off the scenario we just sent somebody. The bond is 4.5, the one that we have at our company. A conventional bond is 4.75, right? Today's FHA rate right now, typical person is 3.87, 3.62. So what does that mean? So if you were just to take a hypothetical FHA at 3.625, $200,000 mortgage, with putting 3.5% down, the payment would be $885, right? Just like the conventional bond. Right? The Chinook, oops, I messed up on this. The Chinook would be $10,055. 56, and your city and state grant, we just found the second way they get you the 1102. So you take the difference, 1102 minus our hypothetical. What is comparison, right? What is the cost of this money? Let's just say it that way. If you got 15,000, let's just say you got 15,000. Let's just say 7,500 because it's just Hillsborough County. And over the course of 5 years, so you see that it's a $217 difference, you're going to pay $13,000 difference, right? So that's the cost of that loan. It's $13,000. And by the way, don't forget you got to pay it back on yourself. I'm the only one here who thinks that's just like doesn't make any sense to do. I mean, I shouldn't say that because it could be the right deal for someone. Absolutely. It's just not my favorite. Chenoa. Again, if we're going to do one, I like this one, right? It's 5 and an 8. The difference is $171 a month. So it's going to cost you $10,260. But it's not. Remember? It's actually forgivable. That's the only saving. See, it's going to cost, well, I take that back. So really, you're not, well, no. I'm sorry, my bad. Completely my bad. Because you still pay that higher interest rate. So still at the end of 5 years to get that forgivable, it's going to cost you $10,260. But you got the down payment forgiven. So that's cool. Because don't forget, this $13,020, which is the same as, I guarantee you, Miss Karen, Osceola County, it's the same as any other county. This is the deal. This is the rate. It's in black and white, the difference. You're going to pay this right here in 5 years. And by the way, don't forget when you sell your house, I also want my money back that I gave to buy it. Okay. Oh, and we're going to charge you a point and a half to get it. So actually, this 200 would have been 3,200. So it's 2,000. So, and then another half a point to get that. So 3,000 to get it. $13,020 at the end of 5 years. So for you base and you pay it back. So that's 60. So it's going to cost you 15 grand and you pay it back. Okay? So it's going to cost you 10, but you don't have to pay that back. I like that. This one is going to cost you 5,800 and you have to pay it back. Still not a big fan, but it's a lesser of all evils, right? Which is why I feel good about that. I mean, at least if somebody's going to do it, it's the lesser of evils, because the rate is good. Conventional, I just put that on there. They really can't compare because, well, you could, but 76 and you have to pay it back. Or you could just do the FHA. So the question is this with this is if people have like, because I had to talk with a firefighter the other day. He had a 401k. Can we take a loan against the 401k and what would be the cost of that loan? And we're going through this whole thing and then we realize, guess what? With that loan, you're actually paying yourself back and you're paying the interest, you're paying it back to yourself. Versus paying the difference in a higher interest rate and the cost of the loan costing you $13,000, $5,800, $76.20. There's a time and a place for everything. Okay, for everything. So I would think that trying to come up with the 3%, because I don't even go into that conventional now, that 3% is even less. You know, if you're going to stay in a home for a long period of time, your conventional, a little bit higher interest rate, get rid of the get rid of PMI, right? None of this has a PMI factor. The second thing is, if not, and you need to get one, I'd like to hear what you guys think, what your pros and cons are. I'm going to unmute and start getting y'all's opinion on this. So I muted everybody, if that's okay. Hello, everybody. So that is the basic cost of these loans and the differences. And I honestly didn't try to, like, once I got here, it just really aggravated. So anybody have any thoughts on this?
On all of these, your credit score needs to be above 620.
Okay, the only one that your credit score doesn't need to be above 620 is the one that costs $13,000. I find 20 points. You know? Genoa is 620. Our bond is 620, 640. And then FHA is 5. No, FHA is 580.
So the only issue with the is with the normal FHA is not having the down pay, the amount to put the down payment.
Yes.
With the Chenoa, they help you, and then you have all these other.
The Chenoa, I like it because it's forgivable. If you can make your payments on time for 3 years, you don't have to pay them back.
But the majority of people, their issues is the credit score.
Majority of the people is the issue is the credit score. Chenoa will go to 620. So we are only talking. This is the problem that most of these have, is that the city and state program says 600, right? There's not a lot of lenders that work with that it starts at 580. I haven't seen, Karen, to be totally honest, I haven't seen AUS approve any city or state grant under 620.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's kind of misleading when they said that, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
580 is your typical FHA. If you have money to put down, they don't have a floor credit score. They just have a floor for the 3.5%.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest factor here is just understand the cost of the program. So that now someone says, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. You guys feel a little bit more educated on like what we're talking about a little bit? And how big of a deal the difference of the rate is.
Right.
You know? Anybody else have any questions? Lynn, Miss Chelsea, y'all have any questions?
No. No. So
No.
no. No, because I was listening to Karen and the questions that she asked helped. So
Yeah. And well, what I was going to say earlier too, though, is this: some people can have great credit score, but have things on their credit for FHA that have to be paid off, right? Like not really a judgment, but like a collection, right?
mm-hmm.
That's the case, then go conventional. Because conventional financing does not require you to pay those collections. You just have to have, it is. Shoot, man, we have a guy that's 660. all day long you can do this. I just wouldn't recommend them doing the FHA route because you don't want to have to pay collections, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like a puzzle piece on putting these things together. And the biggest thing is everything has a purpose, but at the end of the day, when we talk about what's in the best interest of our clients, it's right there. To me, okay, this is just the truth. The first city grant that and these, I'm the same. This one right here is the one that in my world, as a lender, make the least amount. If I was not an honest person, I would not tell you this. But the truth is, if you're going to pick one, this is what's best for the client. Interest rate it's a great rate. You're not paying 2% to get, and you're not paying 5%. Another one though, I like that because I like the fact that it goes away. Like to me, I just wonder if it was my kid, which is what I like to think. I would say go do the Genoa, and year 4 go refinance it. 3 years and 2 months go refinance it.
That's a good idea.
Right? If rates are still good, like that would be the gamble that I would take. Then you wouldn't have to pay it back, and you wouldn't have paid this pure $10,000. Probably paid.
You have time to save some money.
Like to me, that would be the best. If that's not it, then go this way. If you're more conservative, you don't want to take a risk of what the rates may be in 5 years, go this route. But if you can, you've got money sitting in a deferred account, or if you've got a family member, you're planning a big old wedding or something, and you're like, I could just back off the wedding and put it down payment on the house, or whatever hypothetical reason. There are people that really have the money to put the down payment and don't want to because they think there are these programs, and when you look at the cost of the program, it doesn't make sense. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But you want to be a homeowner and you don't have those options, and you don't want to pay just to throw money out the door and rent to somebody, and you want to actually gain value and gain an asset, get appreciation, and get a tax write-off, get this one. Get any of these. It doesn't matter. These are all viable products. But I wanted to explain all these viable products. And someone's like, but I just really want, how do I turn down that $15,000? I can tell you how you turn down $15,000. Right here. That's just 5 years. That was if somebody keeps it 10, 20.
Yep.
So I hope that was helpful. And I am getting ready to turn the recording off so that we can share that because I don't want to get you. So I'm just going to turn this off. Turn this off.